AITA for refusing to punish my son? Not the a-hole. Here. So me 49M and my wife 48F have 3 kids 20M, 17F, 12F. Now our son is a uni student, but is currently at home for the Easter holidays. My son is really into something called BL. I didn't really know what it was. He had mentioned it a few times but never went into detail. I still don't really know but found out a bit more a few weeks ago as I went to visit him and we went to a manga store and I said I would buy him one. The cashier asked for his ID but he forgot to bring it. She correctly assumed I was his dad and explained that the book was 18. My son looked really embarrassed and quickly told her that he's 20. He does look younger than he is, often mistaken from anywhere between his actual age and around 14-ish, and I nodded in agreement. I didn't really bring it up and just left it at that. Fast forward to now, he's home and brought a few books back with him, some regular books, and some in the same vein as the one I bought him. His youngest sister loves to read as well, and when she saw the stack of books on his side, she went to grab one. He quickly stopped her and told her she's not allowed to read those. She was confused and asked why, and he told her that she's too young, and I thought that was it. Well, today I came home from work for lunch only to be greeted by my wife yelling at our son, apparently while he was out with some friends. His sister had gone up to his room to look for the books he had put them away after she tried to read them the first time, and my wife found her reading a section that definitely earned the book its 18 rating. She completely blamed our son for even owning books like that and was talking to me about what kind of punishment we should give him. I was taken aback and told her that he did nothing wrong. He's an adult so he can own and read books like that, and he moved the books to a more hidden spot after his sister found them the first time. This has now caused a massive argument, as she's adamant that our son needs to be punished while I don't think so and have said I will not support any punishment she gives him as it's unfair, and he did nothing wrong. My wife is now saying that I don't care about our daughter and that I'm manipulating her and undermining her authority as his mother, so AITA? Edit my wording seems to have confused a few people. I'm sorry, this situation concerns my younger 12 daughter, not my 17-year-old. First comment, I'm 5 yo is plenty old enough they've been at full-time school for a year by then and are well aware of what belongs to who there. They know when a toy belongs to the school or to a classmate. The son should be able to say no and expect a 12-yo sibling to listen. If my autistic 13-yo did this to his 20-yo brother, the 13-yo would lose all electronics for a month, including TV. They'd only be allowed back online with parental controls daily checks as they aren't mature enough to have unsupervised access to media that is no age appropriate as she is unable to follow simple age-ratings ... and only after the set time for no electronics. The apology isn't a get-out-of-jail card. They'd have to apologize to their sibling for invading their privacy and mean it too. The supervision would only be eased a bit after daughter could be trusted to only access age-appropriate materials. TBH, I'm very concerned that Op came home to his partner screaming at his son when he had done everything right and the daughter was the one that was out of line, for multiple reasons. 1, she had been plainly told that they were inappropriate because she was too young. 2, she ignored that. 3, she waited until the sun was out because she knew she was misbehaving. 4, she deliberately invaded his privacy. 5, there's a possibility she's gloating for your son being screamed at when she knows she was out of order. 6, there's a possibility that your adult son will get effed off with being screamed at after doing everything will do their damnedest to move out ASAP. Please stick up for your son and admonish the daughter. Second comment, NTA. This is probably embarrassing enough for both of your children. All that's needed is maybe a talk with each of them. The youngest should not search through her brother's room like that and should be firmly told to not try to reach books that she knows she has no right to touch. Her brother already told her no with your approval. She's at fault here. But also, she's young and hearing that the content was forbidden probably made her extra curious. It's not that bad. You probably should satisfy the curiosity that comes with what she saw, so that she's not tempted even more to find those books on the first occasion. I would also discuss with the son about finding a safe place for his adult books. They definitely should not be exposed easy to find or reach to anybody. They're part of his private life. The mother is being unreasonable here. Probably judging from her own perspective on life, she seems to think that nobody should have this type of books, including her son. I don't know, maybe she's uncomfortable with the topic, but it doesn't mean that she should push her views and assume she's right. It's a wonderful opportunity to teach your youngest about privacy and what one is allowed to do and not do. Third comment, NTA, your daughter is 12, not 6, old enough to know not to take things that aren't hers, and old enough to know from you in school and just life in general that there are things she can and can't do at a certain age but can do later. Maybe your son should have explained it more instead of you're not old enough, but that still shouldn't be on him. Put it to your wife this way: if she reached for your bottle of beer, and you told her no, you're not old enough, and later she snuck into your liquor cabinet for a few nips, would your wife blame you for having a liquor cabinet in the house? Or same scenario, but with the car, told no, you're not old enough to drive, but then does something like backs it out of the driveway. Your fault for having a car or leaving the keys out. Tell your wife you do care about your daughter, which is why she needs to learn boundaries right now, not have everyone sanitize their life for her. Your son did nothing wrong. He protected his sister by telling her no and being responsible enough to put the books away in his room. Your daughter is the one who needs a talking to and a punishment for going into her brother's room without permission and for taking his things when she was told no. And maybe for snooping further. Sounds like she snooped once, so he hid the books better, and she snooped again, but that's not clear. If that's the case, she really needs consequences. Fourth comment, NTA. Your daughter is definitely old enough to know that she should not go into her brother's room and read books she was explicitly told not to read. Your son is 20. He is an adult. He absolutely is not at fault here. He even moved the books and directly told your 12-year-old not to touch them. She was not allowed to read them. Your daughter needs to be punished. She knew what she was doing was wrong and did it anyway. Your wife is focusing on the wrong person to punish. Your son had and read books you knew about. It's not like he was aware of some house rule to not bring those books into the house. He did nothing wrong. Your wife is a major for blaming him for his sister's own bad actions. If you and your wife decide that 18 books should not be allowed in your home, that's your house and you can make that rule. But your adult son should not be punished for a rule you had not even made yet. Your adult son also isn't responsible for parenting your 12-year-old. I hope you sit down with your 12-year-old and have a very serious talk about her behavior going into brother's room, taking something that wasn't hers, especially a book she knew she wasn't supposed to read. 12 is definitely old enough for consequences. She also needs consequences. I really hope your wife isn't intending to just let the 12-year-old's behavior go.